Hello everyone, what is going on today? I want to talk about everyone's favorite hand cannon, the Last Word. The Last Word has gotten hit pretty hard recently. If you guys didn't know, hand cannons got nerfed again. There was a big patch that, made it so hand cannons don't have bloom anymore. Their initial accuracy is back to what it was. All your shots go where you're aiming. Fantastic change by Bungie, and they also reduced the base range across the board on hand cannons. Perfect changes in my opinion by Bungie. I recommended that in my weapon change videos. If you guys remember those months and months ago, that was one of the changes that I said would balance hand cannons pretty well, and it did pretty well. I think hand cannons were put in a really good spot, but they were still a little bit too dominant in Bungie's eyes, and so Bungie has come back. And along with the health regen fixes, so if you guys didn't know, all the health regen perks in the game were broken because of the Arc Blade Hungering Blade perk change. They ended up inadvertently breaking all the health regeneration in the entire game. So they had to fix those, make some tweaks there, but they also further nerfed hand cannon range. And Last Word, obviously, probably the lowest range hand cannon in the entire game, just in terms of overall, like, just the stat value. You look at the bar, it's just so much shorter than any other hand cannon, even of similar archetypes to the Last Word. And that's for good reason. I mean, it's full auto hand cannon. You just spray people down, and it can still 3 or 4 shot kill in close quarters. So they did want to reduce the range of all hand cannons, but they inadvertently hurt Last Word a lot more. And I was just hearing all kinds of things after this change. People were like, Last Word is literally like, people said the Last Word was bad before because of the random bullets and things like that. But now people are saying the Last Word was literally unusable. And so I was like, that's interesting. Let me go and pull it out and try it in a game. And so that is what you're watching right now. Obviously, this is not the case for every map. Exodus Blue is the map you're watching right now. Very close quarters map. So obviously it's going to work in a hand cannon's favor, especially Last Word with such a low range value. And you do see the range drop off, right? Like, I'm hitting 56 damage headshots sometimes in this game, whereas, originally, like before the patch, I would have been hitting 75 damage headshots. That's a pretty hefty range reduction there. But I'm still melting people because my shots are hitting. So, I mean, obviously Bungie knows what they're doing here. They want to make hand cannons a closer range option. They want it to fit in with auto rifles a little bit more in terms of their effectiveness. They want them to be high skill, and they want them to be close quarters weapons. Obviously no one wants a hand cannon to just map you and melt you across the map, right? That's just not what people want. That's stupid. Realistically, that should be reserved for scouts and pulse rifles. Honestly, I don't mind this too much. I think that hand cannons are still definitely usable. I think pulse rifles are definitely dominant right now. If you've got a good Hawksaw, PDX, Blind Perdition, those are the weapons that you're going to want to be using most of the time. But hand cannons are still definitely usable. It's just that you cannot map people and actually kill them the way you could before this patch. So, is this change detrimental to hand cannons? Yeah, actually, it's a pretty big change. Like, you just can't engage people at the ranges that you could before with any hand cannon. Even with like the rangefinder palindrome with rifled barrel, you just can't rely on it anymore at range. It'll drop down to something like 19 damage at the longest ranges. And at that point, you might as well be shooting them with a pea shooter. Like, hand cannons they just can't do it anymore. But they're still good in their intended range, and what has realistically always been their intended range on maps like Exodus Blue, like you're seeing me play on now, Cauldron, Anomaly. What other close quarters maps are there? Honestly, dungeons, you can pull it off some of these Taken King maps that have some longer corridors, but realistically there's cover that you can duck in and out of on most parts of the maps and most of the central parts of the map. I'm telling you guys right now, we'll just look at the gameplay that I'm putting up right now. Like, I think I dropped 30 kills here. In part thanks to some amazing supers and some amazing teamwork by the team I was playing with. I think I had like 3 or 4 triple Nova Bombs in this game, and you know my teammates had like 2 or 3 more triple supers like Fist of Havocs and things like that, and so we were just holding it down. But you guys can see how fast, you know, you guys can see that I'm still killing people with this last word. I mean, you know, this is a close quarters map, so obviously it's what it's intended for. But just, you know, this goes to show you that the last word is not completely worthless. Like you're gonna want to use other things most likely. Like my favorite weapon right now is definitely my my PDX 45. You know, so if you have one of those that you like, one of the middle-ish rate of fire pulse rifles, that is going to be your go-to. Palindrome is still fairly good, but once again, you know, the pulse rifles just don't suffer from that range as much. Probably as much as they should, honestly. Pulse rifles should probably be nerfed in the range category just a little bit too. Not too much. But right now, they're just so much more dominant over scout rifles that it is kind of obvious, you know. Like I feel like definitely a pulse rifle nerf could be in order, if not a scout rifle buff. I mean, I know a lot of people want buffs instead of nerfs, right? We don't want primaries to be nerfed anymore because the kill times is what, you know, the kill times of primaries is what brought in the rise of special weapons, right? And that's why people are complaining about the special ammo changes, because, you know, that's not what people wanted. I personally recommended the special ammo changes, and I personally like them because it forces more primary gunplay. But a lot of people think that special weapons are an integral part of Destiny, and they would have preferred to see primaries get buffed as a whole rather than specials get nerfed or special ammo get taken away. So once again, like I said, you know, hand cannon's not completely useless. Last word, not completely useless. You just gotta know when and where to use it. You're gonna have to pair it with a sniper as well. If you don't pair it with a sniper, you're doing it wrong, because like you're just not gonna kill people at longer ranges, especially if you are on, you know, the more common maps like Rusted Lands or even, you know, Twilight Gap to a certain extent. You know, some of these Earth maps, especially, you know, like was it Frontier, you know, some of these longer range maps, you're just not going to succeed with last word. On the closer quarters maps, you're going to do fine. But yeah, make sure you're pairing it with a sniper so you can have that long range capability if need be. Obviously, it's not always going to be there. So if you have a last word, you have a sniper, but then you lose your sniper ammo because you died, depending on the map, you might want to switch off. But seriously, guys, last word, like I said, I dropped 30 kills here, probably 20 of those were with the last word at least, so definitely far from useless. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love the last word still, and I hope everyone else gives it its fair shot. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.